However, this signals that the market is getting hot again, and there's good reason why. Podcast ad revenue is only in the kind of the low $2 billion range. It's still a small business, but it's growing like 25 or 28% a year. It's growing faster right now than search off a small base, but it's growing. In addition, the CPMs are really high, and that's cost per thousand. That's what an advertiser is willing to pay for every 1,000 impressions or listens or downloads you get. They're around, for our show, they're around $45, which is pretty good for any medium. And the reason why they're strong for us is, one, podcasts are very intimate. You really have an impact on the listeners. They're listening. You're usually with them when they're doing something, walking their dog, with their family, something sort of intimate. Whereas when you're watching CNBC, it's kind of like background noise. Maybe you're on a trading floor, and you kind of just turn off when James Garner comes on and tells you to buy a reverse mortgage, or some old man tells you to trade like Chuck, that you can spend more time with your grandkids if you're stupid enough to do his options trading strategy, or, buy this CPAP and it'll change your life. Anyways, the reason we get high CPMs is we kind of have what I'll call one of the silverback gorillas from Rwanda. What's rare? Why do advertisers like our listeners, Ed? Let me ask you, more critical thinking.
I'm going to say wealthy, or at least financially conscious.
Right, but more than that, our listenership is young men who are doing well professionally, who are really difficult to reach. You can reach them in sports, but for the most part, they have gravitated their media consumption to subscription-based media platforms, Netflix, and they're hard to reach. Now, even higher CPMs at Pivot, because while we get the silverback gorillas, which are rare, Pivot listeners are kind of the great white rhino. They are really rare. Who are they, Ed? Who are they?
Executives, maybe?
Senior level tech executives that make big purchase decisions, that decide if they're going to do SAP or Oracle, or if they're going to use ZipRecruiter to buy their benefits, right? So podcasts are growing. They reach an interesting cohort of intelligent, successful people, and it's a very intimate medium. The reason they want us to do host readovers, as strange as it is, supposedly 80 or 85% of listeners don't hit the skip button because they don't mind listening to an ad when Kara Swisher or Ed Elson is reading it. They just feel like it's a kind of part of the relationship.
I think they would skip me, but yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So SmartLess getting $100 million, the thing I've noticed about the term was that it's only 3 years. So that's real cabbage, $33 million a year. They deserve it. It is a lovely podcast. Those guys do a great job. They have a great dynamic. It's a big deal, and it's probably increased what I'll call the value or the price of locking up top 100 podcasts. It's probably increased every deal by 30 or 50% because now it feels like the champagne and cocaine are back.